Hello, welcome back to the Wednesday Club on the Manchester Football Social. Are you following our brand new Twitter? It's MCR Footy Social on Twitter. Make sure you give it a like and give it a follow, because every podcast link is put up on there, and all the news surrounding both Manchester clubs will also be on there, keeping you up to date with everything you need to know about the red and blue side of Manchester. And on the red side of Manchester, we have Alex Boardman. Hello, Alex.
Hi.
And on the blue side, we have Ian Cheeseman. Hello, right. Ian. You're right. One's happier than the other. It's a common theme of the shows as we go on throughout the season. We are going to look back at the England games, and we're also going to focus on Pep Guardiola's influence in England. And I'm going to bring in an article that I read about how Pep Guardiola is making the England side a better squad and they're playing better football. And his evidence for such an article talks about Pep Guardiola and his time as Barcelona coach and what he did with the Barcelona team. Obviously, the Barcelona team had a rich influence in the Spanish squad in 2010 and 12. Won the World Cup in 2010 and then won the Euros in 2012 when he was managing Barcelona. When he went on to take over at Bayern Munich, again, the Bayern squad, as you can imagine, very rich in helping the German squad. They won the World Cup in 2014. Now he's over in England. Manchester City have key players like Walker and Sterling and Delph even pulling the strings on Sunday's game, and England are becoming a better side because of that sort of spine that he is providing of the England squad. So do we have any belief here that the results of England are anything to do with Pep Guardiola?
Well, the one player you didn't mention when you went through those England City players was John Stones.
Yes.
And it's interesting because Gareth Southgate talked about John Stones in the last few days, and he talked about the fact that he plays on the front foot. Now, I admit that the game that we're referring to here, I didn't see. I actually forgot England were playing, believe it or not, and I was visiting the Christmas markets in Manchester and got home afterwards and then thought, oh, England played today. I didn't realise they were even playing. I thought they were playing on Monday or whatever. Anyway, I saw the interview afterwards, and Gareth was basically saying that Stones plays on the front foot, and some people had criticised, I think, Stones for the goal that Croatia had scored, and said it was because he was on the front foot and somebody ran in behind him. Now, I didn't see that. However, I can understand what the conversation was about, because Stones does play on the front foot, and that is down to where you're coming from, Joe, yep, which is Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola has his players, defenders, forwards, everybody, even goalkeeper, playing on the front foot, and that is an all-encompassing style that he has created to City. And Stones, who, in my opinion, is not the best defender, despite being in a team that has the best defensive record in the Premier League, he is a great player at what he does and what Pep wants him to do, which is to play on the front foot. Now, if England do mirror City, and they all collectively play in that way, then I believe that is a step forward, and that's probably what happened in Spain and at Bayern Munich in Germany and whatever, and that's what happened to them. It seems to be happening, seems to be transforming with England, and Stones and others are a key part to that. So maybe it's because of this front foot, playing front foot rather than playing back foot. Now, I also noticed that there's an article in Germany at the moment that's blaming Pep Guardiola for the demise of German football, and suggesting, and this is a former German international, Hans-Peter Briegel, who's saying that this 75% possession, which is what Pep aims for, is not what you need to do, and citing France and counter-attacking football with Mbappe and other players, Pogba with the long balls forward, etc., work perfectly well for France. And, of course, there is always going to be an argument to say that. The only one thing I would say against that, because they can't ever win that argument, there isn't a right and wrong in its opinion, is that Pep's philosophy, having read 2 books about him, Pep Confidential and the Pep Evolution, is that, believe it or not, the one expression he really despises and hates is tiki-taka football. And some people think that's what his team play. Tiki-taka football is keeping possession for the sake of possession. Tiki-taka is not what they do, as was probably exemplified by that 44-pass goal that Gundogan scored, which has got my colleague here sighing and
you remember that one, Alex?
No, missed it. I was having a pie.
On the face of it, that was a tiki-taka goal, because for probably the first 38 passes, you thought, where is this going? What is the point of it? They're just passing it around from one place to the other. But you could see, and I think it was Paul Merson, but anyway, one of the football experts said, actually, what they do by doing that is they eventually grind the opposition into the point where they stop tackling and think, we're not going to get the ball anyway, and they just back off the challenges, and then the end result is the goal. So I use that as the case for that is not tick-a-tacker. So 75%, you can argue pro against, you can argue for possession football, counter-attacking football, but it isn't the 75% is the issue, which is what Hans-Peter Briegel says. It's how you use the ball and what your end
Alex,
goal
is there any
is.
rumours in this Pep Guardiola's making the England squad better?
No.
Or is Jose making the England squad better?
Well, at least, Jose plays Rashford and Lingard, who did grow up at one club. So you're talking about, right, John Stones. He's not City's starting centre-half, is he?
He is now.
Is he?
Him and Laporte.
I thought it was Laporte and company with a preferred two if company's
No,
fit.
it's Stones and Laporte now.
Right. Fabian Delph is not a preferred. He would not make the first.
No, probably not.
And then of these players, the four players that I mentioned, John Stones started at Everton, only been at City 2 years, maybe 3. Kyle Walker, a season and a half. Sterling, everything through Liverpool, maybe been there 3 years. Fabian Delph, Villa. Never really plays very much for City. He's a stopgap left back sometimes. So it feels like with Guardiola, with Mourinho, I think we've got this temptation of making up things that aren't there, and we do it negatively. And with Guardiola, it feels like things that aren't there are made up as like a positive. Do you know what I mean? Like England get a new kit and it's, well, that's the Pep effect, isn't it? Because
no. I think what people are saying here is because Pep Guardiola plays this style of football, it forces other teams to play that style of football to try and beat them. So therefore, all the players in the England squad who play for the different clubs respectively all come together when they play for the England side and all know this style of football and all then translate that style of football on the pitch.
With the exception of the last game, you're telling me that Fabian Delph meets up at International Week. He doesn't always meet up for a start. And when he does, everyone's like that. Let's all step back now. Liverpool, Man United, Tottenham, Chelsea players. What do you think, Fabian? It's utter nonsense.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying they're learning from the management of Pep, not learning from Delph.
I think also you're doing a massive disservice to Southgate here. I think Southgate's revitalised that team and he's playing exactly how he wants it to play. They don't play like City with the exception that they play 3 at the back. That's the thing. It's not this... You couldn't, put it on a black and white telly and stand far enough back so you can't tell who the players are. You would never watch England and go, oh, is that Man City or is it England? It's absolute nonsense. It's absolute nonsense. Aguero and Kane are such different players. England play so differently to Kane than City do to Aguero. Sterling and Rashford for England are fantastic, but they don't interact with the midfielders the same way that City players do when it's Sané and Sterling. It's totally different. Utterly a million times different. And yet again, we're going, oh, Guardiola, he's getting credit for stuff he's not done. Be real. Come on, get real.
Fair enough.
However,
I
will say he has ruined German football. That is true.
We're going to speak to our team of the week, Ramsbottom United. We've got Aaron on the phone. Hello, Aaron, mate. Are you well?
Hi, Joe. I'm very good. Good evening. How are you?
Hi, Aaron.
Oh, we're good, Aaron.
I never thought I'd do this, but United.
Ian, I'm a City fan.
Oh, he's a City fan.
Get him off.
So tough for you, that.
He's a City fan. Aaron, tell us about... Go on, sorry. Well, you want to just...
I'd like to say, Ian, I'm a big fan, and I've been on a couple of his tours in the past. He did around City with Alistair Mann.
Do you want your money back?
Thanks very much, I appreciate that.
I'll get your money back for the end of the show. Ramsbottom United, tell us about them, Aaron, and what is your role in the club?
Well, I'm one of the main match reporters at Rammy. There's a few of us who do it, and I'm one of the main reporters. The club, well, it was founded in 1966, and one of the co-founders, Harry Williams, that day. He's the chairman of the club. He's put loads of money in over the years, and he's still there on the gate taking the money in every week. He was there last night. It was a cold Tuesday night cold night against Yaxley. It was a great win for the Rams, and he was there, as he is always.
And how old is he now, sorry?
How old is Harry?
Yeah, how old Harry be? Is he in his 80s?
I couldn't possibly tell you that.
But he's still grafting, come rain or shine.
He's still there every week, as is everyone for volunteers.
So a win for Ramsbottom United FC, and you encourage more and more people to come down and get involved with the club, would you, Aaron?
I definitely encourage people to come. I've not been volunteering there a long time, but I was a bit nervous, can I do it? And they were, they wanted me to do it. And in a short time, everyone knows your name and everyone knows everyone's name. And it's a real good family vibe, really. It's a local club. It's a Ramsbottom, not the biggest town. And it's a real good community feel when you go down and you speak to people and everyone's asking how you're doing. And it's great to go down, really, and we want more people to come and watch the team week in, week out, run a great run of form. And, if you can't get to City, you can't get to United or even Bury to go and watch Rammy, it's a bit different. So I definitely get people to come down, of course, to volunteer.
It's got to be worth going to watch a Ramsbottom game, if for no other reason, because it's in such a picturesque
it's beautiful
area. And I bet the ground is just beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, surrounded by, around the club, of course, there's the Rammy Cricket Club, and there's the train, the East Lancs Railway, which runs right behind it, and there's the park, and it's a real good area, really, and the towns, there's always loads of people there, and to go down and watch the football, it's obviously a bit different, but the town's really nice, and just to go and watch the club is, it's a bit of a different experience, but I'd certainly recommend it.
Yeah, Dibnaland, that, isn't it?
Yeah, they do the World Black Pudding Throwing Championships.
Oh, have you won that yet, Aaron?
No, I've never been in it. I couldn't throw a tennis ball, so forget the black pudding.
Aaron, can we ask an important questions people love to know about our team of the week? One, how much is it to obviously get in if you want to go see a game? Obviously, I know the prices might differ. And two, what pies have you got on offer?
The pies, I couldn't tell you. I can tell you how much it costs.
Oh, yeah,
to go into watch Rammy is £8 for an adult, and for a concession it's £4.
Mega.
And I couldn't tell you about the pies, but
it's only Joe who's bothered about.
I'm only about the pies. It's only me about the pies, Aaron. Aaron, Ramsbottom United on Twitter, Ramsbottom UTD on Twitter. When is your next game, mate?
The next Rammy home game, the next Rammy home game is on the 1st of December, taking on Runcorn, and we're away on Saturday at Pickering in the FA Trophy. It's the third qualifying round. We took on Yachts last night, as I said before. It was a great 5-1 win, and the next home game will be Runcorn on the Saturday the 1st of December.
Well, Aaron, all the best, Aaron, and thank you for coming on, being one of our team of the weeks, Ramsbottom United. Go check out their Twitter, Ramsbottom UTD, and give them a follow. Only £8 to get in.
It's a brilliant town, Rammy, as well. It's got one of the best chippies just up from the train station that I've ever been to. Yeah, they will.
Yeah, that's why I was getting.
They'll have meat and potato pies and meat pies and maybe cheese and onion for vegetarians.
Alex, you get to the...
That's the classic pie.
Do they have Baltis at Old Trafford?
I never have it. I have the United pie, which has got the steak and chilli. But I think they do it.
It's weird, that one. It's weird.
My son gets some sort of curry one. I presume it's that.
Yeah. Talk to me what you want to do next, Alex. You're in charge. This is the first time Alex has been in charge.
I don't want to do this rap. That's for sure.
Do you want to do the Lukaku rap, or do you want to do the TripAdvisor game first?
Let's do the TripAdvisor game.
You want to do the Trip?
We're going to do that next.
Which means we'll have to end on the Lukaku style rap.
If we get time, so let's drag this out, everyone.
Quick.
We'll have time. I've got 8 minutes on my clock, mate, and this game will take 4.
Let's talk about pies a bit more.
So, it's going to be very simple. I'm going to read you some 1-star reviews from TripAdvisor.
1 star?
1-star reviews, the worst of the worst.
Old Trafford.
Well, here's the thing.
There might be mine on from last week at the
I've got a selection of ones from Old Trafford, and I've got a selection of ones from the Etihad. Ooh. You've got to tell me which one is a review of where. So it's very simple. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
This is from Made Up. No, man's made up, so this could be made up. Full of plastic fans with half and half scarves, pretending they know football. They turn up 15 minutes into the game, spend the whole time taking selfies, and leave 15 minutes early. Friendly staff, though.
I know what the answer will be, I'm going to go with the opposite and say, obviously, Old Trafford.
What are you going to go with?
I'll go with City. That's City.
It's Old Trafford.
Oh! No, I thought it was City that they were saying.
Yeah,
This is the next one. Absolutely disgusting food, if you could even call it that. All the burger stands were as bad as each other. Why are there no decent things to eat round here? Crazy. They should have a bit of Indian, bit of Chinese, bit of Thai stands about. Or just a decent sandwich. Would not feed any of the food at this ground to my pet.
Is it my go?
Your go?
That will be Old Trafford.
Has to be Old Trafford.
Why? You had good food. I know, I can tell you.
Jamie Oliver does the food at City.
Well, Jamie Oliver, you haven't impressed Teasman because it was Etihad.
Really? Because they've got that thing outside, haven't they, where when I went and saw
Square and
Springsteen,
everything.
there was like loads of different options.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Well, I don't believe it.
These are all one-star reviews. You can contest them on TripAdvisor. This one's headline says, please avoid. People travel far and wide to be bitterly disappointed by the general appearance of the place. Looks cheap, looks unpleasant on the eye. The colour scheme is awful. I really not recommend this to my worst enemy.
Definitely Old Trafford.
City.
Are you going for City? City is correct.
This is a 50-50. Let's toss a coin for the next dance.
You
Next
want
one.
to go into the rap now, don't you?
No.
I recently attended a game at this ground and was shocked by the price of half-time refreshments. One of the offers was 8 items for £20.
That's Old Trafford.
Yeah, I'll go
Old
with
Trafford.
Old Trafford.
You are correct. Ready for the final
He wants
one?
a beer and a Mars bar. That's what I always... He's looking and going, I'll have a pie, I'll have a beer, and I'll have a Mars bar.
That'll be Joe then.
Yeah, that is me.
That'd
Only
be a
8.
beer.
I said only 8 items. This one, Man 1967. Although this one is a 1-star, he kind of ends it on a light note. Dirty place filled with a bad smell. People aren't great, but we enjoyed the day. All jokes aside, a nice stadium.
Old Trafford.
City.
Well, Alex, you are wrong, which means Ian, you are correct with Old Trafford. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was my TripAdvisor game.